एक स्टेट एक देश के अंदर बालकों का मूवमेंट हो रहा है और उनके ऊपर सारे नियम सारे कानून एक राष्ट्र के लागू होते हैं, किंतु वही बालक अगर पड़ोसी देश में चला जाए तो उसकी क्या समस्याएं होती हैं और उसको कैसे वापस लाया जा सकता है। इन सारी बातों पे कि नेबरिंग कंट्रीज में जो बॉर्डर एरियाज हैं हमारे देश के, उससे जुड़े हुए बालकों की क्या समस्याएं हैं, क्या एक्ट है, उसके लिए क्या कानूनी प्रोविजन होते हैं, अगर सारी चीजें देखी जाए तो समग्रता के साथ। तो इस विषय पे आज बात करने के लिए हमारे साथ बहुत ही विद्वान व्यक्ति जुड़े हुए हैं, बहुत ही लर्नेड व्यक्ति हैं। श्री एस शरद कुमार शर्मा साहब, आप MSW DSW लंदन से किया है, आपने CCW ऑस्ट्रेलिया से किया है और आप फॉर्मर चेयरपर्सन रहे हैं मणिपुर स्टेट कमीशन फॉर चाइल्ड राइट्स के लिए। सर का एक लंबा अनुभव रहा है बच्चों के क्षेत्र में काम करने का और कानून के साथ साथ बहुत सारे विषयों पे आपने पुस्तकें भी लिखी हैं। तो मैं ज्यादा समय न लेते हुए सर से निवेदन करूंगा कि सर आज का जो हमारा विषय है, द प्रॉब्लम रिलेटेड विद द बॉर्डर एरियाज, प्रॉब्लम ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन रिलेटेड टू बॉर्डर एरियाज पे अपनी बात रखें। ओवर टू यू सर।
नमस्कार सबको, नमस्कार। तो हमारा पहले आई कैन स्पीक टू बोथ इंग्लिश एंड हिंदी में बात कर सकता है।
जी सर बिल्कुल, आप जिसमें कंफर्टेबल हैं।
Yes, yes. But first of all, I just want to request to all the participants today that whatever I know, retired almost 10 years from the service. So still I'm doing some other activities, like I'm the president of the Manipur Association of Social Workers. So we have a association here in Manipur that I'm the president looking after that. Before that I worked different level from the government and as well as private. So this my knowledge and I just want to share you relating to the children living in the border area. As you know that in India is a north share the international border. As you know, the country like China, Bangladesh, Burma, Nepal, and Bhutan. These are the borders of the entire northeast. So especially in Manipur, that is only the Burma, Myanmar only. The rest of the other states of the northeast is some states are in China and some Bangladesh, Burma, and Bhutan. So invariably we have a lot of problem for the children also. Like especially nowadays in the drug की problem है, we have a drug problem भी है, trafficking, child trafficking की problem है, HIV/AIDS का भी problem है. उसके बाद पहले तो 19 insurgency की problem में बच्चे लोग को बहुत नुकसान हो रहा है. Insurgency because of the border area है ना, nowadays conflict is going on there, and in Afswa armed force special power act implement कर रहा है all over the northeast में, इसके भी थोड़ा सा problem चल रहा है, but slowly it is decreasing all this issue. But I just want to highlight especially Manipur, and then after what I can share you about the entire northeast, mostly in trafficking nowadays. Even the National Commission for, they keep on visiting to Manipur and Assam, Arunachal, and even Tripura, all these places about why the children are trafficked countries, what is the reason behind that, what is the main root cause of this trafficking. All these things is still going on. But before I want to highlight in Manipur, especially I'm working in Manipur. So Manipur, problem at a glance, Manipur mostly in the beginning of 1992 to 2006, we faced a lot of problem about the militancy related fertilities between this age. As you know that, and most of the people and even Home Ministry knows about it, Manipur is the third most violent conflict zone area after Jammu, Kashmir and Assam. But nowadays slowly it's come down. It was almost 2006, it almost come down now. Now is minimize about all these problem issues. And another problem is we have different varieties of these tribes and ethnic groups. So we have inter-ethnic conflicts and insurgency grew up. That is why the government of India during that time introduced the AFSPA, Armed Force Special Power Act in the state in the year 1950, introduced that because of this conflict. This is also because of the border act. The act gave the power to first strike to the special force, which effectively translated into the white power and the security forces. So security forces, they can go to any of the house without giving any kind of warrant. Easily. So by the time the trauma of the children now, yes, you know that once they saw about the security forces, the trauma become very different trauma, and that is why their mindset become some changes, and that is the effect of the children growth, and also their future life of the children. Those things is happening that during that time, but nowadays very much decreased, almost not normal, but they still very much minimized. Normal. And also in Manipur, we have a lot of buns and dharnas, blockades due to the different ethnic groups. Like even we have only lifeline road is this Indo-Burma road. There is a lifeline road that goes via to Nagaland and Assam. We don't have any train facility here, but that is only in the by bus route. And another road is by Silchar, coming from Silchar, Jiribam, and Imphal. These two roads, if any of the issues, they are the demand made by the some ethnic groups, they usually close the roads, the hartals, ban, indefinite blockade. Issues affect the children also, because this will affect the children of the schooling. Sometimes school also close down months. That also affect the education of the children. So all these things are the multi issues faced by especially in the Manipur, probably in the entire Northeast. And another thing is, in the category of the problem faced by especially in Manipur and the Northeast, that is, we can categorize some of the problem issues by children affected by violence, war, soldiers. I told you about that 6,000 to 7,000 children estimated to the child soldiers, 50% of total child groups. So still that the data given by the Asian report, that is a very old data. And in children, substance abuse affected by drugs also there. We have a lot of problem about HIV and AIDS. The cases detected, including 24,011 male, 12,411 female. That is in 2019 data only. 19 is much higher, but that is a 2019 data. And the NCPCR intervene about this HIV, substance abuse and HIV abuse and HIVs. So the study conducted by the National Commission for Protection of Child long back, they found that 54%, the current prevalence was 35%, the children were found, 54% of children use among the use of the substance abuse. So that was the government is at the moment, government is a drug-free policies now implementing in the state of Manipur. So that is every corner of the school or every local village, they are doing the government Department of Social Welfare is doing a campaign for the drug abuse. Why the reason why Manipur is so high for the drugs and HIV is because of this, about the border area, Myanmar, from the outside the country, pass through the Manipur and goes directly to different places of the Indian country and then abroad. That is the route, main route coming from there. So they just drop some of the drugs here in Northeast, the Manipur, some area, even Nagaland and Assam and all, and goes where to. You must be heard about newspaper that some of the trafficker also catch from the Delhi also. These are happening nowadays. Because of that, we have government is seriously taking about prevention of this drug problem. and prevent the increased awareness about the police forces also, because most of our border areas is controlled by the not the Assam Rifles nowadays. In our Burma, this border is they are looking after this Burma border, and in addition to our police also doing that. So that is why this issue is a main issue nowadays. That is why social welfare is doing all the districts, villages, they're conducting the awareness program for drug prevention के लिए बारे में अभी भी still going on under the Ministry of Social Justice Environment की instruction से वो लोग कर रहे हैं, still going on. That is the main issue. And apart from that, we also recommended, when I was a commission, we had recommended to the government of Manipur also, why don't you include this drugs and HIV in the school syllabus, so that once it is included, the children can learn from the beginning, from the school itself, about the effect of the drugs and HIV, AIDS, all this area. That is why the school department, they are the syllabus committee, they are looking after this, examining about this issue, so that at least once we introduce or include school syllabus, at least to some extent we can minimize about these drugs and HIV issues. And the third thing is the missing of the traffic. A lot of children are missing from the notice. When Manipur, I think, so far my knowledge, when I was working in that, the data collected from the notice entire region, even Assam is almost the highest number in the entire notice. In Manipur also, third or second, I think, missing children. The missing children, that is, what is the reason behind the missing children? Why, how these are the root cause. What is the this missing children? That is that because of the, everybody knows about the mainly the poverty. Everybody is saying that why the reason for the children traffic from the other countries, and unemployment. That is also another issue for that, especially in employment, even Assam also. And even Assam for tea garden, we have come across from the other studies, the tea garden children are missing from the nowadays. There is a data also we have, because when I was a commission, we conducted a study about the trafficking of the children from the notice. So by the time we have some data, because I'm unable to show you all those parameters here because of this time constraint. This is why this is in brief. Because in Manipur also the problem of traffic children missing is because even the border in Manipur, we have a very kacha type of fencing, some of the areas, but the government has now started pakka fencing, net fencing is going on, but it is still underway, not yet completed. That is why they can easily go to the inside the Myanmar. The trafficker, they can take the children to Singapore, Thailand, Malaysia, because here we have a route over here. Once we cross about Manipur to Myanmar, and then they can easily go to the Singapore, Thailand through via train or by flight. These trafficker can carry. Even a lot of incidents come up recently from Nepal people. The children from Nepal, they came to Manipur and they went to this Burma border. These people they caught and they sent back to the Nepal. These things are happening nowadays. That is why we recently conducted, even the NCPCR conducted about all the these police forces, border BSF, Assam Rifles, CRPF, border security force. They are mainly control the border. These people, we need to teach them, then the children, how to control about this trafficking when they come across any of the group of children coming from any part of the country, because this is a very easy to traffic. I told you about because of the proper fencing is not there. They can easily just go inside the this Myanmar border. That is why we train them, all these police personnel, those who are guarding our borders, so that once they come across about the group of trafficking, they can give to the nearby our as you know about 1098, 181 for women, and Manipur is also implementing here, and nearby police station and of that kind of thing is preventive measure is still going on now. The reason, the poverty, I told you about poverty, employment, these are the reasons, because Manipur, we don't have any kind of big industry over here to get employment for children. That is why the government is doing nowadays, the one, provide them income generation, the early income earning, some kind of activity to the parents, so that the trafficking may use. That is the reason why the startup scheme is now in Manipur, already started in Manipur, so that the parent can do earn some money, then they can to the school. So that is one kind of preventing this kind of children missing from the state. And other thing, Manipur, a lot of children going outside from the state for children. There was a Supreme Court order also, below 14 years, the children are not allowed to go outside the state for schooling. That is still not yet implemented to some extent, but still people from the school. So in the name of the giving proper employment and proper schooling, the trafficker, they motivate them, these parents, they went to the villages and these hill areas, the parents, they meet them parents, and they false promise, they give them the false promises, give them, your children will give you a good education, or good employment, you can earn money. So this kind of false promises they give them. So the poor children, the family member living in hill area, village, remote area, they don't know about that. They thought that I'm unable to send my children to the school, I'm unable to give them employment to my children. So if these people, whatever they say, that this trafficker, they believe them. And so on these false promises, there is send them children to outside. So and then once they know about that, and then the police people and other state country child welfare committees and JJB and all these people, they come to know that children, you might have heard about from the newspaper that a lot of children from I think camp in some of the children home in South India, and the CWC of the South Indian people, Tamil Nadu, and they come across about Manipur children, assemble there, a lot of children in some of the homes. Instead of giving proper care and education, they use as a child labor. And the reason why they inform to the state government, our CWCs and our Manipur CWC, and they rescue them and send back to the Manipur. So all these multiple issues we are facing for that. These are the reason why the government also think about what kind of they separate some kind of policy is required for the children, especially I'm talking about Manipur. I am not explaining about the other state, but still this is for Manipur only, and more or less same even the other northeast part also. That is why this government is still preparing about. It's almost finalized, but the only thing this assembly session there. Approval is there is still required the children policy for children of Manipur. That policy includes everything, all HIV, drugs, trafficking, all this area which the children are facing in Manipur. This is almost all this going to be included. So once this policy is finalized, and then to some extent we can minimize about even about this kind of issue. Even I tried my best level during when I was a director for social welfare. I tried many schemes for the prevention of children and so many things, but it is a time factor. We cannot solve this kind of issues at one go. So this slowly we have to convince, and we have to work to the rural area, tribal area, and we have almost 34 tribes in Manipur. You see, different language. 34 tribes. So all these, they have different issues, all the tribes, small tribes. So to all this in one policy implemented, and then to some extent we can do. There are a lot of things to be discussed today, but I don't know whether I don't know what can I do. I'm unable to So क्या है बताइए भाई क्या है मैं
सर यू कैन कंटिन्यू, टाइम का कंस्ट्रेंट नहीं है, आपके पास जो कंटेंट है कर सकते हैं जी।
So that is why the especially for I want to explain about for the drugs for Manipur a little bit this thing because the survey conducted by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, the children's drug used by the different drugs like even starting from alcohol, cigarette, cannabis, and all this morphine and some different kind of tablets available from the pharmacy, and that also easily available. So we even when I was a commission, we issue a notice to the government, issue to the state, like even any of the this kind of even pan, that also cigarette and other thing, any of the nearby shops, nearby the schools, they should not allow to sell the cigarettes and any kind of tobacco products or any kind of drugs. Even sometimes we found that in Manipur, some of the small shops, the drug peddlers, small packets are available in nearby the school area, nearby the shops, small shops. So it's very easily, that is when easily available is there, then easily used. That is why once available is completely this stuff, then we can control about issues nowadays. But it is difficult to supply chain. It's difficult to stop all the entire supply chain. It's difficult. So it is a government determination also required. Even not only the government, even all the government of India's intervention also require. Home ministries, narcotic control bureau, that all the functionaries from the government of India, they need to be worked there, because supply line, once we cut the entire supply line, the drugs will go to the other states also. Even the trafficker, which they are earning a lot of money, even one of the largest business drug, and the trafficking also nowadays the second largest business of the world also, that UNODC also saying that it's almost same. Once the supply line is cut totally, and all the community forces, the state forces, unable to control about this, the supply, then definitely the border, they seal the border, 100% seal the border to smuggle any kind of drugs. So once then the availability will not be there in the state, and the other state also, even the other country also, because this is a drug route passed through Manipur, other countries. So likewise, once it is controlled, that will be will be able to control something. That is a many in the government is still going on. That is why poppy plantation also nowadays is growing some of the hill area in Manipur. Really, I'm not joking. Poppy, one of the drugs that is available. You might have seen from a newspaper that the government of Manipur, they are dismantling, destroying all the border area, mostly not in plain area, in border area. The poppy plantation is going on there. So they used to cut everywhere. Poppy grows. The government is destroying all kind of things. Still going on. That is the first step taken up by the government with the Ministry of Home Affairs. That is a good step so that in order to save the life of the children, so we need to do that, all these things. And even HIV for children also nowadays, because people are mostly aware of that, the HIV injection and the syringe, all kind of thing is gone now. That is why people aware of that. The government is giving all kind of medicine to the free of those who are affected. For children in Manipur, we have some kind of home for the only HIV/AIDS children here in Manipur. So these kind of run by the charitable organization, and some are under the integrated child protection scheme programs. Under that, they are giving kind of facility to them to grow up. And even HIV Widow Women Association also in Manipur, they are doing a very good work. They up the vocational training center, HIV widows, and they can earn some money, and they can, whatever available from the government side, medicines, they are getting free of cost and doing a good work here also. So likewise, slowly, benefit for the government's program schemes. And mostly nowadays we are facing only trafficking that is unable to control nowadays. That's the issue now. That is the issue for the government of the not only in the government of India also, Ministry of Women and Child Development. They are also doing a lot of programs trafficking. Even so I come to know that some of our CWC members also here, JJB member also here. They must be aware about that. All kind of is why the this kind of trafficking. They're handling these kind of cases to the CWC and JJBs and all these issues. And thirdly, I just want to highlight about educational systems. Education is most important, as you know that once we give them our proper education to the children and the parents, those are unable to parents to send the school children to the school. If the government provide them some kind of package for education, some kind of sponsorship program, even still, and some children are getting and sponsorship program for children who are unable to go to send to the parents unable to send their children to the school. They are getting some benefit. So this kind of program need to be strengthened because education is one of the most important area where we can nurture the child stage so that they can to know about the effects of the drug, HIV, trafficking, and violence against children and child labor, about all from the early stage, so that at least to some extent we can minimize our issues for the notice. And lastly, I just want to say about the entire notice. We have a 7 sector program nowadays, after including Sikkim, now is 8 states. Whenever we conduct any kind of issues for the children, the 8 states we used to cooperate with them. I don't know any of our members here today, any of the from notice. I don't know. I haven't seen any of the notice people here. Is there anybody from notice?
Nobody is there from Northeast.
You should have called at least 1 or 2 from notice, because if you could have told me, then I can speak to the Assam and I can speak to Arunachal, these people, so that we can also get from them the problem faced by Arunachal nowadays. Even a lot of problem for the children nowadays, even Mizoram, Meghalaya, Bangladesh, they have border. A lot of traffic going on. The girls are, especially girl children, and for exploitation for sexual purposes. This is happening in entire Northeast. That is why the entire government of India, they need to be more attention for that. They are giving attention now, but still need to pay more attention to the this notice the people, and especially for children and women, because they are a vulnerable group, and they need to be care them properly and give them proper education and employment. All these things is doing in the proper way, in the good, and will be able to do something, minimize about all the issues problem. So if you want to, some of my friend colleague from the North, you can ask anything about the notice, about the issues relating to women, children, and drugs, trafficking. So you ask me some of that, so whatever I know, I can give you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. We would like to know some case study. If suppose a child is missing from your state and has gone to the neighboring country, मतलब आपके यहाँ से चाइना चला गया या भूटान चला गया, तो क्या प्रोसीजर होते हैं उसमें इंटर कंट्रीज के लिए? उसमें अगर सब 1-2 केस स्टडी डिस्कस कर पाए तो बेटर रहेगा.
ये वाला इश्यू होता है, तो प्रोटोकॉल होता है. दिस इन मोस्टली म्यांमार एंड सिंगापुर अदर कंट्रीज, हमारा होम मिनिस्ट्री और भारत सरकार के पास, we come to know this kind of information, we can go to our home ministry, and then through the embassy to the suppose that the respective country embassy, we can contact them, and then even one organization, I'll tell you, in the that is working in Meghalaya, they are doing a very good work. They have even internship to the Singapore also. They once they come to know the Home Ministry, sent to the procedure through the government of Singapore, example. Then some of the traffic children from India staying in some hotels. So this kind of information, we used to get it from the different sources, from police or NGOs. We used to get it, all kind of. So once we get the information, then we communicate them, and then the government of Manipur and in collaboration with the Home Ministry, we send them people from some of the NGO and the government people to that area, and identify the identity of the children and belongs to this state from northern Nepal or India or Tamil Nadu or Maharashtra. So once we come to that, then we can bring back to the Manipur through the diplomatic channel only. Mostly this is only the diplomatic channel. We cannot do rescue directly. Within the state we can do. Within the state, as Child Welfare Committee, we can send them information to the CWC if it is children below 18 years, and the CWC can verify the rest. Can verify the children traffic from here to, for example, in South India. And then once the identity of children identify, if they are below 18 years, then we can, the CWC of the state, through their respective Women and Child Department or Social Welfare Department, they can send back the children to the respective states through police escort and other things. That within the state is very easy. The outside the state is diplomatic channel. We have to do it. We are doing we're still going on that diplomatic system, diplomatic channels.
Sir, like we have a JJ Act in our country,
yes.
which governs the CWC and JJB and takes care of the entire children. What are the provisions in other countries? Do they have the similar kind of? Okay.
Even Australia, they have even in India, Maharashtra, when social work, I come to the Children Aid Society. You might have heard about Children Aid Society in Maharashtra. In most of the program, our JJ policy for JJ and other things, more or less similar to the Australia also. Australia also, they have same thing. Even this government of Great Britain, they have the same kind of models of JJ juvenile justice home. But there, they never mention about the juvenile justice home, because there is a stigma about the home. Suppose once we put the JJ home as juvenile justice home, juvenile, I think they remove the juvenile, that kind of word in their home. They run the home just like the laws. So because that laws, for example, Kumbalo laws, I had visited to Australia in England in 1989. By the time I've seen that their juvenile home name is Kumbalo laws, they call it. They call it laws. Instead of, they did not mention about juvenile or something, home or something. There's separate name, because that stigma comes now. Suppose here also said the children send, your children is sent to the juvenile home, observation home. That kind of, that the stigma of the children, once we were staying in the juvenile home, remand home. That is why the Bharat Sarkar also removed the remand home का नाम अभी तो हटा दिया ना, remand home अभी तो आजकल कोई नहीं, JJ में modified JJ में अभी remand home का नाम अभी भी कुछ नहीं है, juvenile home भी अभी बता रहा है. तो इसके लिए that kind of system also we more or less similar. When we go through the Australian Children Act and even Indian JJB, more or less similar, I think. The modality is more or less same. Even the only thing, the facility wise there is much better for Indian context. That's why, because their countries are very rich, have a lot of facility, and compared to the Indian home. When you visit to any of the home, even your Madhya Pradesh and other part of the state, they are some, to some extent, I think we are lacking. Facilities are very much lacking in terms of infrastructure, in terms of all food. But we cannot compare to other.
Right. Facility is directly proportional to population. That's one of the reasons.
We cannot provide all of them, all kind of facility.
Right, sir. Very recently, we came across a case from Nepal. A girl from Nepal came to our jurisdiction in Bhopal. We rescued her and handed over her to the Nepal embassy.
Yes.
So once I asked, do you have some kind of JJ Act or something like which can govern? They said in our country we are not having this kind of detailed act. We are under the process of getting it done. So that's why I asked that whether other countries do have this kind of act or not. So thank you very much. It was a wonderful experience to have with you. And one thing which I forget today, I mean, I didn't had any contact in the northeastern part, so I could not invite other people.
Next time we'll do that.
Yes, definitely. Very soon we are planning to have a speaker from Andaman and Nicobar, sir. So in
Yes.
that time I'll try to inculcate all the participants from the border areas so that we can have a detailed discussions on this issue.
Yes.
So once again, thank you very much, sir.
Even I too like to know about even Jammu Kashmir, even
Right.
the faced by the problem faced by the Jammu Kashmir children. They really from the Jammu Kashmir and even the knowledge there. But still,
JNK has very recently, after the
yes.
exit of 370, very recently they have started implementing JJ Act. So the body, I think, body has been constituted in the state. So we'll just try and find somebody from State Commission.
Yes.
From JNK. That's a good suggestion, sir. We'll try to find somebody from JNK.
Even I also learned that from the National Commission. They are going to Ladakh or something. They are going to set up some kind of silent commission or JK or something. Hopefully, once we set up all this acts implemented, JJB, domestic violence act, so many acts all over the country, good acts are there. But the only thing, once we implement that, the follow-up that is required, because egg is a very nice, in terms of production is very nice, but the only, while implementing, we have a lot of lacunas are there. That is the issue now. That is what people have to aware of all this act also.
In the entire JJ system, if you talk about the entire JJ system, implementation is a big task. Act तो बना दिया है, बहुत अच्छा beautiful act है, rules भी उसके साथ हैं, but the resources which needs to be implemented for the implementation of it is still needs to be improved a lot in our country.
Yeah. That is why I just want to add one good suggestion from Chandigarh. How the Chandigarh government implemented the policy for the donation, donation because of the like our home है जो भी not Assam भी हो, old age home भी हो, सब all of the home, how this to be developed for donation purposes, because anybody can donate, because they have issued the government order is already issued by the Chandigarh government. They issue very nicely, so the how to donate about the this home by the any individual who like to donate for this home. What is the procedure about? So that is why I think in the first in the entire India, that is Chandigarh government, so far my knowledge, Chandigarh government only the rules for the donation for the charitable home, that kind of thing is a very good idea. So you can also contact them and you can get a copy. That will be implemented in other state also. I was just thinking about that. That also I just want to highlight in front of you for today's discussion.
So it was really nice to have you on our board, sir, today. We were planning it since long back. So फिनिश की ओर बढ़े उसके पहले, जैसे कि हमारी परंपरा है, हमारे साथ लोकेन जी जुड़े हुए हैं, CWC चेयरपर्सन है लोकेन शर्मा जी। आपसे निवेदन करूंगा कि सर हमारे आज के मुख्य वक्ता का धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करें, और उसके बाद अजय खिमरिया जी जुड़े हुए हैं, इस विषय पे कुछ रखना चाहें तो अजय खिमरिया जी अपनी बात रख सकते हैं समग्रता के साथ। कहते हैं कि वाकिफ कहाँ जमाना हमारी उड़ान से, वो और थे जो हार गए आसमान से। तो हम चुनौतियों से हारने वाले नहीं हैं सर, चुनौतियां रहेंगी जेजे एक्ट में, उसको हम इम्प्लीमेंट करते रहेंगे और आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे। लेकिन आप इस विषय को समग्रता के साथ रखें, फिर उसके बाद हम अजय खिमरिया जी से धन्यवाद ज्ञापित कराएंगे। लोकेन जी भाई साहब जी।
आदरणीय शरद कुमार जी, को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है, जिन्होंने एक बहुत ही बृहद और व्यापक विषय को हम लोगों के सामने प्रस्तुत किया है। सीमा पर और सीमा के पार कैसी व्यवस्थाएं होना चाहिए और किस प्रकार के लोगों के साथ जुड़ करके और इस काम को पूरा किया जा सकता है, वो हम सबके सामने आपने प्रस्तुत किया। इसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद है सर। बहुत सारी चीजें हम लोगों के लिए नई थी और संभवतः ये बात हम लोग कभी समझ भी नहीं पाते, क्योंकि हम लोग मध्य क्षेत्र के निवासी हैं और हृदय को पता नहीं होता है कि क्या मस्तिष्क में चलता है और क्या हाथ पैरों को सुलझना और उलझना पड़ता है। तो हृदय तक पूरे शरीर की बात पहुंचाने का काम आज आपने किया है और हम लोग सभी आपसे काफी इंस्पायर हैं, आपके अनुभवों से। आपके द्वारा जो आज ज्ञान गंगा बहाई गई है, संभवतः हम सभी लोग उससे पूरी तरह से नहाकर पवित्र हो चुके हैं। मैं धन्यवाद करता हूं आदरणीय सर का, साथ में धन्यवाद करता हूं आज जो पार्टिसिपेशन करने के लिए उपस्थित रहे पूरे समय हम लोगों के साथ, श्री कृपाशंकर चौबे जी का और डॉक्टर राघवेंद्र शर्मा जी का, जिन्होंने ये एक बहुत लंबे समय की एक श्रृंखला हम सभी के सामने और स्थापित की है। और डॉक्टर राघवेंद्र शर्मा जी के बिहाफ पे आज विषय को प्रवर्तन करने वाले श्री अजय खेमरिया जी का भी मैं धन्यवाद ज्ञापित करता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।